Litecoin and Bitcoin update. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here with your daily update. We're going to take a look at Litecoin, take a look at the targets I've had up. Then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin and also take a look at the targets I've had up. Then towards the end of the video, I'm going to go into the gold chart versus the Bitcoin chart, as I've done before, but I forgot to show another view of it in the last few videos. So I definitely want to show you guys that. It's very interesting. Stick around and let's take a look at the charts.
1, 2, 3,
All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest to do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, it is still a speculative market, so keep that in mind. All right, if you guys haven't already or you're new here, please hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed. If you tick the little notification bell, that'll get you notified when I post new videos so you don't miss out on anything. Also, if you could, leave a giant thumbs up, smash those likes, and leave your comments. Let me know what you think of the video, especially what you think of the end of the video when we compare the gold to Bitcoin charts. And I'm really curious to see what you guys think. I like to get you guys' feedback, and let's get into the charts here. All right, this is Litecoin on the daily. We're going to take a look at my targets here. Obviously, I had this $56 target. I'm just going to show you guys real quick how I got that. If it's your first time here, just so you guys can see. Now, I know the guys that haven't been watching probably don't want to see this again, but I like to do this so, you know, hopefully people can learn from it. But right here, I measured this flagpole, and there was a bull flag coming down here. So we take this flagpole from where we broke out down there, and we put it to where we broke out up here, and that's what got me the $56 range. Now, I am going to leave this target here because I do believe if we break up, we're going to use that as support. So I'm going to leave that there. Also, right now where we're at, well, let's look at the other targets first. And then I had the $60 target up here. And how I got that, guys, was if you look at this, the blue support and resistance line I have right here, right around the $41.30 range. If we measure, looking at this as an Adam and an Eve, if we do a measured move off of that from the neckline down to the tip of the Adam, and then we bring that back over here and put it to the top of the neckline where we broke out, that's what gets me the $60 range, which we could argue that we've already hit it right here. We hit around the $59 range, but I'm still going to leave the target here at the $60 mark. So we're going to take a look now at how I got the next target up, which would be the $65 range. And to get the $65 range, we measure this channel here to the length of the channel, and then we put it up to where we broke out of the channel, and that gives us the $65 range. And up here I have a $68 range, and how I got that was looking at this right here, as we could be possibly forming a bull flag. Now, if we take a measured move, measure that bull flag from where it broke out down here to the tip, and then where we would break out up in this area, that gets us up to the $68 range. Now, I have one more thing to look at. I'm not going to put another target up for it, but I do want to show you guys that if this is could possibly be a cup and handle. I'm not too convinced of it, but I still want to make a measured move and give you guys, just show you my idea. And we would measure from the neckline. If this was the cup, this is the handle. We'd measure from the neckline to the bottom of the cup, and then we would bring it over to the top of the neckline, and that would get us right up to the right around the $71, $72 range. And if we bring it over, we had support, and it becomes resistance after we broke down through. So that's another possible target, guys. Like I said, I will put a, you know what, I will put a mark in there just so we can, I don't I'm not putting a lot of weight on this one, but I will put a target up here, just so we remember. And let me get out of this here real quick. Next, I want to look at the RSI. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know I really like the RSI. So I'm going to try to show you with a split screen real quick. This is a rising wedge I have drawn in. Let me go in here. As you can see, rising wedge I have drawn in the daily chart on the RSI. So it looks like we're going to come back down to test the bottom of this rising wedge here, and that could bring us down to this 5150 area to test the top of this channel again, guys. No guarantees there, but I do see us coming down to at least try to test this. And if you look here, my EMAs are turned up. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it. Turned up here, but this is starting to tick down a little. But if these do cross, this one here is my 21 EMA. This is the 200 EMA right here, and this is the 55 down here. My 8 and my 14 have already crossed, and that's what give us this bullish move here. Now, if this 21 crosses this 200 EMA, that's what's going to give us the next push up, I believe. Now, do I think we're going all the way up to the $68 range? Possibly. But right now, I'm looking more at the $65 range right here. And then we'll probably have another correction after that. But I will not. I'll add that in the videos once we get more data and see what I'm looking at. But also, I want to jump in real quick. I'm going to show you the 4-hour RSI. See what that's looking like. And this is the weird one, obviously, that I've been showing. But this is a symmetrical triangle I had drawn in here that we've broken up in and out of. But these lines, I leave them because they're still significant. As you can see, we still use them for support and resistance, and we got rejected here and moving on down. But I do believe this is going to end up being a channel moving up, and this will probably be when we go up and test the $60 range. And if we break through that, obviously, then we go up. But it's hard to judge the price, but this gives you it's the relative strength index. It gives you the strength of the market, and you can learn a lot from it. And I'm going to show you real quick another thing I'm looking at here. If you look closely at the RSI against the price action, guys, you can see how we're making lower lows in the RSI. But if we go up here from the same point and we make a line up here, we're making higher highs in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence, and that's why I believe we do have another move up coming. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that, guys. Like I said, it's possible we either come down and touch this 53.30 area, which is the 55 EMA, or we come down to test the top of this channel around the 51.20. Let me get rid of these lines. I'll give you one more look at the chart here. As you can see, it's starting to droop down again. And like I said, if we don't get support off this 53.45, I see us getting support off the top of this channel I've drawn here around the $51 range, somewhere in that area. All right, we're going to move over to Bitcoin, guys. All right, this Bitcoin on the daily, obviously the falling wedge I have drawn here, and we'll zoom in to look at, and the reason I show you guys that, so you know what the white lines are down here when we get, zoomed in closer, so that's a falling wedge I have drawn in. So, all right, let's look at the high targets first, and then we'll go into the 4-hour time frame and look at it a little different. So, all right, these two high targets. Now, I'm looking at them only if we break out of this white line, which is the top of that falling wedge I had just shown you. So we'll do some measured moves off of, first of all, this measured move is from the symmetrical triangle, a solid line on the top, dotted line on the bottom. And if you look here where we broke through, came back down, tested it for support, got support, bounced back up. Now I believe we're heading towards the top of this falling wedge, which is the white line. But also I want to show you, if you look at my RSIs here, they had crossed up back here, and you can see it got very bullish. And then right now we're still getting support on the daily on my RSIs here. And those are the same RSIs I showed you in the other one, guys. The 8, the 14, the 8, the 14, the 21, and the 55. And we're going to take a look at, like I said, take a look at the higher targets real quick. I do believe this bottom trend line right here, guys, is going to hold. And that's why I do believe the bottom is in over here. I could be wrong. Like I said, this is not financial advice. This is only my opinion and my view. But all right, let's move over to where we initially broke out of this symmetrical triangle right there. And that's what gives me the $5,000 range right here as a target. I'm going to show you how I got the next target, which obviously is much higher. That's the 5250 range. And the way I got that target is kind of the same way as in Litecoin, where I did a zoom in so you guys can see. Did a measured move off of Adam and Eve. Now, if we look at this one, you can see we got a touch over here, a touch right here, and obviously over here. So this would be the neckline, and that's right around the 4180 range. We take a measured move off of that down to the tip of the atom, and then we bring it back over to here if we are to break out of it. And again, guys, that's if we break out of it, obviously. And that brings us up to the 5250 range, right in there, somewhere around 5200 to 5300. And if we do get up there, guys, then that breaks us above this 200 EMA. And I do believe if we break above this 200 EMA, it's possible that that holds us for support, and we continue up from there. But like I said, guys, it's still too early to, count on these targets. Our first thing, we got to break this white line coming down from the falling wedge. So now I'm going to take a look at the RSI. Take a look at the daily. As you can see, I had this line here has been very significant. It's been support, and then we broke through, has now become resistance. But I do have a channel drawn here. Let me zoom in a little bit better. There we go. Move this line to the tips. All right, as you can see, we've gotten support down here, support, and up at top, resistance, resistance. Now we could come back down to touch the bottom of this for support again, and if we break through, obviously we'll probably have a sell-off. But do keep in mind this is a daily chart, so if we do break through, it can pop down here, and as long as before the end of the day it moves back up, then we get back inside. So keep that in mind there, but I do believe there's a possibility we at least come up to test this line again. And if we break through, then obviously we're going to have a good run up here, which could be the point that breaks us through the top of that falling wedge. So let's take a look at the 4-hour now. Actually, let's take a look at the 4-hour RSI and see what we're looking at there. Same lines I had drawn in the daily. And as you can see, we've gotten support, broke through. Now it's become resistance. And I do believe this could be, we could come down to get another touch at the bottom of this. Obviously, this was like a bear trap. We broke down through the bottom, right back in. But this could also end up being a bull flag, which could bring us back up to test this. And if we break through, then we come up to the top of the channel again, which would be extremely high on the RSI, but it is possible. So let's go into the 4-hour on the chart, 4-hour on the Bitcoin chart, and take a look at the smaller targets here and how I got them. And I want to show you something pretty interesting about what we could be forming right here. I was looking at it this morning. It's pretty interesting. So first of all, we've looked at the $5,000 target and the $5,300 target. Now let's look at how I've gotten these targets. And this one here, let's zoom, get it back a little bit so we can see. All right, so this one here, looking at the $4,000 range, and the way I got that, I might have to zoom in a little bit to show you, but I was looking at this as a bull flag pull right here where we broke out of this, and then I was looking over here and it looked like a bull flag forming, so we put it right on the tip of that bull flag, and that's what gave me the $4,000 range. But we do have some heavy resistance right here at the 39.70 range before that, and we may just get a poke up if we do at the 4,000. It may just get a wick up and then come back down, and I'm going to show you why here. If this continues up from here, I believe it's going to be very bullish, but I wanted to draw these in real quick and show you guys. If you draw a line on the top of these wicks, and then we take another line from right here. Actually, I'm not going to do it from the bottom of there. We'll take it from this wick. As you can see, this looks like a rising wedge forming. And if that's what is going on, I would expect something like this. We come up and hit that 4,000 and then maybe come down, test for support on the bottom of that, maybe come back up and then down. And my target for that would be either right around the 200 EMA. Get rid of this stuff. Yeah, my target would be right around the 200 EMA, which is going to bring us right around the 37.50 range. And if we break down past that, our next support would be right here around the 36.50 range. And that would also bring us to the top of the symmetrical triangle and test it for support. Now, another way to look at that, obviously, like I said, that's only if we get rejected at this white line, which, you know, there is a possibility we go up, but we have to wait till more data's in to see what goes on there. Another way to look at this is this could end up being a bear pennant. And if it was a bear pennant, we could do a measured move off of this as the flag pull here. Sorry about the phone, guys. I'm not going to redo this video again. So anyway, this is the flag pull here. And if we were to break down over here and this was a bear pennant, that would bring us back down towards this $34.80, $3,500 range, which would be the bottom of that symmetrical triangle, which I believe is going to be our long-term support line. And I'll show you that in this next part where we look at Bitcoin versus gold. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at in Bitcoin right now, guys. So we are going to move on now. We're going to move on now to the Bitcoin versus gold comparison chart. So let's take a look at that real quick. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Did I the 4179 is our old support over here, become new resistance. That's been a pretty heavy resistance, and that's where I come up with the 4179 range. And actually, if we go in here real quick, I want to just show you how I got these other targets too. This target here, the 4076. First of all, if we measured this where this long wick is as a flag pull, and then we moved it up to where we broke out, if we were to break out here, that gets us the 4076 range. That's how I got that target there, just so you guys know. Yeah, that's about it for that one. Let's look at the Bitcoin to gold charts now. The comparison is amazing to me. So I do want to remind you guys, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button on the lower right hand side of the screen. Tick the little notification bell. Get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes and leave your comments. Let me know what you think of the video, guys. I appreciate it. It really helps the channel out when you guys leave comments and do likes. And also, if you could, share the video if you belong to any groups in Twitter. And I've seen a couple people share it. Thanks a lot. One of them was LITECOIN Master and Crypto Chit. Both you guys, I appreciate you guys sharing my videos and stuff on Twitter. So, all right, let's look at what's going on here with the guys. Haven't seen already, I drew a trend line from the all-time high of Bitcoin right here across to where we broke out or broke down at the 6,000 range, and then I drew this yellow solid line from the second peak to the where we broke down from 6,000. And there's the solid yellow line, I believe, is the long-term trend line. And this is what has to hold. Well, you know what? Before I do that, show you guys the comparison to gold. If you look at the gold chart, this isn't the weekly. That was the daily of the Bitcoin. This is weekly of the gold chart. Obviously, things move a lot faster nowadays because of the internet, and adoption's a lot quicker, and the access for people to access, to buy stocks and shares and Bitcoin and all that now is a lot faster than it used to be. So looking at this chart, and the same thing, I've drawn from the top of the high here all the way to where it broke down. And then from the second one, I drew the dotted line or the solid line, just like in Bitcoin. And here's the long-term trend line. And as you can see, we touched it once here, once here. And then once we broke through, guys, look what happens in Bitcoin. Or I'm sorry, in gold. Sorry about that. But anyway, see what happens in gold. It really, got a huge boost from there. And you got to remember, guys, that markets and charts are human emotion and human psychology. And human emotion and psychology does not change. And the similarities in these two charts is amazing to me. So obviously we may not shoot right straight up on Bitcoin, but if we look, as you can see, we've had 1, 2 touches just like in gold on that bottom trend line. Now I do have another dotted trend line down here, and that would be if we were to break down past this, which would probably be below the $3,400 range or $3,500 range. Now if we were to break down, this is where I would look for support around the $2,100-$2,200 range. But I don't think that's going to happen, guys. Like I said, we've had 2 touches here. We've broke out of this yellow area, both these trend lines, and we're moving up. Now that's not to say we don't come down, test this bottom one more time, which is possible. If it was to drop straight down now, it would be 3460. But I don't see us going below 3,500. I believe that's a safe mark. And if we do break down, then obviously we're looking down towards the further. But if we break above this 200 EMA, I believe that's going to hold. It's going to become support for us, and we continue up from there. But as you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit here. These EMAs are still holding pretty strong right now since the crossover here. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on the data and see what comes in and what's going on here. So, all right, let's look at the gold and see. We're going to look for the capitulation candle that people say we have to have. And if you look close, there was no capitulation candle in this, just like there hasn't been in Bitcoin. Now, that's not to say we don't get one in Bitcoin. Like I said, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just showing you my view and my opinion on the market. But in this, we never had a capitulation candle, and we had a heck of a rise afterwards. So I'm going to go into the RSI now. We're going to go into the monthly RSI. Whoops. I want to go into the monthly RSI on Bitcoin. So let's go into the monthly. And this was the other thing I wanted to show you guys that was extremely interesting to me. That's the weekly, sorry. Let's look at the monthly. Here we go. So looking at the monthly RSI, you can see that I've drawn the two arcs here. This was the last bull run, the 14 bull run, and then obviously the 17 bull run here. And as you can see, I've got these arrows. Each low I marked. There was 4 lows before, you know, some sideways movement. And then it was around September of 2015 when it started moving up. Now, as you can see, it counted 4 lows here. And we could go to, you know, June or July here before we run back into this line. And like I said, we could get sideways movement till then. And then, you know, continue on up just like we did in the old one. The similarities of these charts are amazing. Let's look into that weekly RSI. Just kind of, I had this line drawn here. And it obviously, you know, if you look at it, it was giving us resistance, 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 and we've broken up through here. So I think that's pretty significant too. Obviously, it's possible, guys, we come back down and that could be the new low to touch back down here in the oversold area and back up. But I really don't see it, guys. If you look here, when we broke through over here, it kept on moving up. And I believe that's what we're going to see here. So anyways, appreciate you guys watching the video. I appreciate all you guys' support. Please hit the subscribe button, which is the Crypto Savvy logo above my head now. To get you subscribed, tick the little notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. And if you would, smash those likes, leave your comments, let me know what you think of the video, guys, and let me know if, you know, your opinion on what you think Litecoin and Bitcoin are doing. I really appreciate it, and have a good day.